Fintan here for XLR-Radio, and I'm here backstage with, I hope I'm pronouncing this right now, Carlos Sosa, better known to you all as DJ Sneak. Sneak, a very warm welcome to Ireland and to Limerick. I believe it's your first time playing the city.
It is, yeah.
Your brand new Fabric album is on the way really soon, so you're on tour for that at the moment, I believe.
I am, yeah. I'm like right in the beginning, actually. I've done 4 or 5 days now.
And also, you had the official release party in London last weekend. How did that go for you?
It was really, really great, man. Like, really, really great. I'm not kidding. I think it was the first time in a few times that I've played Fabric now that I've really dominated and owned the room, you know. So room 1 was amazing. The crowd was great. I ended up playing an extra hour, so we finished like nearly 10 o'clock. It was nice.
And I noticed from reading some of your posts there on Facebook, am I correct in saying you've been in Ireland for a few days? What have you been up to?
Well, anytime I'm near Waterford, I have to come visit my friend Soidan, who's a great tattoo artist and house music and enthusiast too as well, makes beats and enjoys music. We struck a friendship a while back, and every time I'm come by, I got to come and say hello and hang out with the family. He has 2 kids, you know. It's really great to just come and have a cup of tea and enjoy it, you know.
Excellent.
Plus get a tattoo.
Yeah, I heard about your tattoo. How did that go for you? Is getting a tattoo in Ireland very different to getting a tattoo in, say, the States?
Well, when you got a master like Soidan, you wait till you meet him again, right? He did one two years ago, and now he done my other forearm, and it's fresh from last night. So, yeah, it's fantastic, man. When you have a good artist, you have to go follow them where they're at.
So if you don't mind, we'll take our listeners back in time now a little bit. Growing up in Puerto Rico for you, right? Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about, there must have been a huge range of musical influences you would have came across. Can you tell us musically how it all started for you? Maybe some of the artists you would have been listening to back then.
Well, in Puerto Rico, the dominant music in the 70s when I was growing up, I was born in 1970s, so really between 70 and 80 was like the best years of salsa music, which is the most dominant Latin music at the time, you know. Some of the best musicians and performers and vocalists came from Puerto Rico, and a lot of them migrated to New York and did collaboration compilations together, you know. They used to call Fania All Stars, and that included like Celia Cruz and Hector Lavoe, Willie Colon, Ruben Blades, like, you know. That's what I grew up with. There's some of them are still around, some are gone. The music lives forever, man. Even from a child, and now I'm 41. You know, I still love the sound and the message behind the music. Like, it was real music. So I'm glad I learned that before I actually went to the States and, you know, got into house music and everything else. Yeah.
Well, that leads me into what I was going to ask you next. When you moved to Chicago, you would have been exposed to a completely different type of music. Can you give me an idea what the music scene was like in Chicago when you arrived at the pre-house kind of music days? What was it like then?
It was underground. You know, you had to know people, and really, I was there 13, summer '84. That's when I first heard music, like house music, and the only way I could get it was either recording it from the mix shows on the radio, which there was definitely mix shows that were groundbreaking and they were playing amazing music. Anything from salsa orchestra to Kraftwerk or Africa Bambaataa, like anything like that were playing on the radio, you know. So those years in Chicago were probably the best years in terms of being so influential towards music itself, the music itself, and the DJs and the artists that Chicago, you know, raced and put out there. You know, I mean, we're still all doing it, and there's a lot of history. There's a lot of history behind the sound, what started as house music and what it is today. You know.
Yeah. Now, here's the other thing. I'm sure you get asked this all the time about the name DJ Sneak, right? And I believe it came from your days rocking the old graffiti tags and working as an airbrush artist. Is that right?
Yeah. I went through a few names, and Sneak was the one that stuck. And yeah. I was doing graffiti for years, and then I started DJing, and then I started less going to the streets and getting in trouble, and more, you know, focusing on mixing. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this is true, but I remember when I read it a long time back, it made perfect sense. I was listening to a lot at the time of your Sneak Essentials material on the Strictly Rhythm label, and I read somewhere, I don't know where, in some DJ magazine, that your name came from the fact that your productions involved it sneaking a lot of samples into tracks. Did could that be?
100%. I mean, I've sort of I don't know, developed a sound that everybody still loves, you know, and they call it the Sneak sound now, you know, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, Sneak came from graffiti first, because I was sneaking around doing it, and then when I got into DJing and music, I was like, everybody knew me as Sneak anyway, so I sort of spun it around and said, yeah, this is sneaking samples in there on a way that you wouldn't expect it to be there, you know. My production is very, I don't know, raw and different from people, you know.
And in terms of producing tracks, how it all started for you? You were working in a record store, right? And it kind of went from there. You bumped into a couple of influential people, or was it Kashmir? Or?
Yeah, I worked in three different record stores in like an 8-year period. The last record store was probably the one that's where I met the most people that were able to. That I was able to send them music to, and they listened to it, and because I was already having a little bit of hype in Chicago as an up and comer producer, they said, yeah, cool, send me. I met Johnny D from Henry Street. I met like Kenny Dope. I met Gladys Pissarro from Strictly Rhythm. That's where I met Kashmir as well. So it was a point of interest for a lot of people, and to be a DJ producer and an up and coming, you know, artist, like Gramophone Records was the schooling, I call it. You know, I did my years, I graduated, I became what I am today.
Exactly. So in terms of producing tracks, can you give us an idea what you're up to at the moment?
I'm always working, man. Every time I get a few hours in the studio, I get in and do it. Let's see. Magnetic Recordings, which is my label, and Recordings. I'm releasing, I got half a year's worth of music from different people as well. So I'm signing other stuff and whatever. I'm working on Sneak Classics. This is like picking some of the best of Sneak tracks and letting some of the younger people produce them over, you know, sort of like bring light to an old tune. And then trying to work on a new album. Try to deliver whatever I can. There's definitely a few things that you'll hear really soon about. Actually, I can't speak about it right now, but there's a radio track coming that's gonna rock. Kind of like on that, not really Fix My Sync, but you know, on that level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
So.
Gotcha. Do you have, I suppose you kind of answered there, you spend a lot of time getting in production when you can and DJing when you can. Do you have a preference between the two, or does one kind of go with the other in a way? Well,
I mean, after so many years, I was a DJ first and then became a producer. I think it goes hand in hand, you know. I learned to jump between the two, and I'm lucky that I could do both for both sides of the music industry, you know, as well as retail and everything else that I do. But it's great. It's great to be home. You know, right now I have a new child. She's 11 months old. So new daddy again, and that's been great. Keeps me grounded, keeps me humble, makes me want to make beautiful music, you know. And then when I go on the road, I get to, you know, live my other life, man. You know, DJ Sneak, it is what it is. I never changed. I've evolved with the changes in the industry, but I've maintained my integrity and my sound. And now that it's back and everybody's like, oh wow, Sneak's back. Well, actually I've been here all the time, right? Everybody's coming back, and that's great, you know. That's great. So I'm just working towards making house music more acceptable again, and maybe take it to another level again, man. Who knows?
That's brilliant. And just before we wrap up, what's the best place for our listeners if they want to, you know, check out some of your stuff online? Where's the best place to go?
I mean, I got SoundCloud and Facebook, and DJSneak.com has been updated on a daily basis now, which is great. I'm linking everything together there, where you can buy music, where you can download stuff, everything. So that's probably the best one right now, DJSneak.com, yeah.
That's really good. And just to wrap up, finally, just from a personal point of view, growing up myself as a DJ and a producer, I always rated yourself and Armand as big influences. And I wonder, you know, when you guys collaborated on stuff like the Psychic Bounty Killers and stuff, that seemed like a lot of fun. Any future projects between the two of you guys? Do you guys hang out much anymore? Or?
Well, he's in New York, man, and he's always it's hard to pin down.
Because everybody's doing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's doing a lot of different projects as well. We have the same management. Besides that, Armand and I have been boys for a long time. It's just a matter of the right place at the right time, which I have to say, it'll have to be me going to New York and knocking on his door and be like, I'm here to make music, let's go. Yeah. And that's how it'll happen. But yeah, we've talked about it, and I mean, like I said, we're in the same management company. Felix Housegate as well, and Todd Terry, and some of these players like that. So we'll plan to maybe see if everybody can get together on a project or whatever. Personally, with Armand, I love to do something. I mean, he's gone off the craziness with this duck sauce. Which I'm not supporter. You know, even though I remixed the first single, I wasn't really wild over it. Like their newer stuff now, it's like gone bananas, you know. But I know that I can get in the studio with Armand and deliver something that people will be like, "Whoa, that's like a sneak track with Armand all over it," you know. So that's what I'm always shooting for, you know.
That's brilliant. Thanks for taking the time for you know, talking to us here on XLR Radio. It's been a pleasure. Really looking forward to your set tonight, and best of luck with the rest of the tour.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your support, and yeah, keep a house forever.